Ever since I was a child, my mom always told me she wants our mother-son dance at my wedding to be to Simple Man by Lynyrd Skynyrd. And right now, my wedding is only a couple weeks away. However, as a music artist and producer, it just doesn't sit right with me if the DJ was going to play the original track. My mom has just done so much for me my whole life, and I really wanted to do something special for her. So I'm going to surprise her with my own version of the song, a softer, more intimate indie folk version. So today, I'm going to produce a cover of Simple Man by Lynyrd Skynyrd from scratch. And by the end of the video, you'll get to hear the final production, and you'll also see my mom's reaction when we do the mother-son dance at my wedding. All right, so I was kind of messing around on my guitar here, and I'm going to do it on acoustic guitar, and I'm just going to play it a little bit more soft and chill. I'm going to try and keep that original kind of melody that they have going on, but I'm just going to change it up a little bit to make it a little bit more softer, ambient, more intimate sounding. We're going to keep the same BPM as well, and I'm just going to try and build it from there. I'm going to try and keep things simple. I'm probably going to get I'm thinking acoustic guitars, maybe a few electric guitar strums on the chorus. I'd like to get a violin in there, maybe some pedal steel, and obviously some vocals as well. So I'm just going to record some stuff and see what sticks. All right, so there's a couple takes there. So on this guitar, I'm using Fine Classics plugin here. I basically just put a overdrive pedal here and just a shimmer reverb on it, which sounds really nice, actually. Just kind of gives it a nice little added touch. I really want to make it an intimate vibe, so I really think that does just that. And actually on the second channel strip, I just used Guitar Rig, so I kind of just changed it up. And then I use this acoustic shimmer preset. Kind of just change it up, have two sounds in each ear. They sound fairly similar, but here's what it sounds like together. Sounds fairly good. And what I'm going to do here, I don't like doing this, but I'm going to copy and paste this throughout the track. As you can see here, I have the structure of the track. I find sometimes when I do that, it just helps me out. I think I'd like this to play throughout the track, so I'm going to copy and paste this and just kind of start to arrange it slowly. I know we don't have a lot right now. All right, so I think for the intro, I might just leave it at that. If I think of something later, I might add it, but I kind of think it just establishes a nice chill vibe. I don't really want to go too all out here with some crazy ambient sounds. And I might also, on the choruses, I would like to record some guitar strums. So I might do acoustic guitar and maybe layer some electric guitar, but I'm going to record it and kind of see what it sounds like. Hey guys, just wanted to interrupt this quick and wanted to say if you're enjoying this video, please hit that subscribe button. I notice most of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed to this channel. So if you're enjoying it and want to see more videos just like this, just hit that subscribe button. And I promise there will be tons more like this just to come. All right, and then I'm going to layer an electric guitar on top of that. I'm going to throw up Fine Classics pedal board. I'm going to use this Mesa 412 amp sim here. What I'll do is I'll bring the gain up a little bit, maybe a little bit of the bass, the mids. Bring down the treble volume up a little bit here. See what that sounds like on the neck pickup. So just the tiniest amount of breakup in the signal there. And I'm just going to layer it right in the background of these, but I'm going to bring it way down, but just to add a nice little extra texture to the acoustic guitar. So I'm going to record that. And I'm going to pan it left and right as well. If you would like 20% off any Fine Classics plugin, use code LukeProv20 off at the checkout, or just click the link in the description and you can get 20% off. So here's without the electric guitar. Here's with it. So obviously gives it a nice added kind of background texture there. So we're kind of getting there. Obviously, it's pretty empty, the track. You have some finger picking and you have guitar strums. So there's it's lacking a little bit. So I'm thinking on this first verse outro, it's almost like the chorus, but there's no words there. So I'm thinking that's a good spot to like start building it up a little bit. I think I want that first verse to just be strictly me singing, which I hate because I hate my voice and I feel like it needs some stuff to support it. But for now, let's just keep it at finger picking and then verse one outro slash like the chorus without the lyrics. I'm going to do some bass guitar, and that's where I'm going to bring the bass guitar in. So I'm going to grab my bass. All right, so I'm not the best at making bass lines, but luckily we have a track already made by Lynyrd Skynyrd. And I was kind of copying their bass line a little bit, but kind of made it a little bit my own. All right, so I went ahead and kind of copied the bass throughout the whole track as well. Ideally, I'm more of an advocate of playing the whole thing rather than copying and pasting, but you do want to play it. If there's louder sections, you want to get louder with the guitar. If there's quieter sections, you want to get softer. For time's sake, right now, this is why I'm doing it this way. I think it's still going to sound fine. All right, I'm thinking this intro, I'm going to do the whole birds chirping thing. I think it's just kind of a cool ambiance right at the beginning of the song. Most of these people here don't hear a lot of my productions, so it'll be something new for them to hear. And yeah, I'll put this birds chirping in there. So this is just from Splice here. Here's the name of it if you'd like it, but here's what it sounds like. And here's what the track. Just kind of a cool ambiance. I do it a lot. I promise I'll get more creative next time. And listening to this intro, I was just messing around on Splice here, and this drone ship descending preset, I kind of brought it down 5 semitones, but kind of sounds cool in the background, just adds an added ambiance. I just added a splash of reverb, or maybe not a splash, but a lot of reverb. You could barely really hear it, but it's there and it adds a nice little layer. All right, so let's get into the drums here. I'm thinking verse 2, we start drums. I don't even think we're going to add any drum at all until we get into verse 2. And I'm thinking we just kind of subtly bring it in. I don't want to bring it in too hard, but maybe we'll start with like a hi-hat or something. Okay, so I found this hi-hat on Splice here. Here's what it's called. So I'm just going to do that. And then maybe halfway through this, we'll get into the drums. I'm not sure. Here's what it sounds like. So let's play around with some drums on my MIDI keyboard. So halfway through, I think I'm going to go like... something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to record it in from me playing it. When you end up playing it yourself on MIDI, you actually get like the different velocities rather than just like typing in each individual note. Plus you get like, it's a little bit out of time as well. Obviously we're going to make it so it's not like super off time, but I'm going to play it in and then I'm going to separate them just so I have a little bit more control. All right, so I separated it all out and I have them all highlighted. So as you can see, like all the different velocities here, it just makes it a little bit more realistic sounding because these are software instruments. I am just using the Logic SoCal kit here, but it does make it sound like a little bit more realistic. And then I have a little bit of Space Designer on all of these drums as well. Here are the settings. They're fairly similar through each drum track. But I thought it sounded kind of nice. Just a little bit of extra reverb there. It just adds, I don't know, I thought it just sounded cooler than being dry. I don't know. I just typically go off vibes. I don't have any actual explanation, but it just sounds cool. So on the verses themselves, I just used hi-hats, and on the chorus, I added a few crashes, and then I just used a ride cymbal instead of a hi-hat. And then you can hear the crash in there as well. So the drums are fairly simple, and they're the same throughout the rest of the song. The only thing on verse 4, so verse 4 is an interesting verse because I think I've decided I'm going to write my own verse for it to make it a little bit more special for my mom. I've left a section there, and I think it would be really cool if I just did lyrics. If I just did strictly me singing here, like goes from a big chorus to just slows right down, and then me singing the words that I wrote on this song to my mom. So that's what I got going on there. So, I mean, right now we're starting to get like a nice sounding track. Like we got some drums, we got some electric guitars, acoustic guitars, bass. It's starting to sound like a song, but I just wanted to like add a few more elements, maybe like a pedal steel possibly, and a violin, because it's nice ambient sounding and it's just going to make it sound beautiful. I really want to get a violin on like the chorus probably, and a few sections in here, and then we'll add a pedal steel, and then honestly we'll get to the vocals, and then we'll pretty much be done with this thing. All right, so verse 1, I feel like we can add like a nice staccato violin sound with this Stradivari violin contact instrument library. This is one of the most realistic sounding violin plugins that I've found, so I've really been loving using it lately. But it's got this staccato preset, so I want to kind of add that in there, maybe through in the first verse. I like that, and then I'll just do that throughout the track, like on verse 2, verse 3. On verse 2, I'll play it throughout, and then on verse 3, I was kind of messing around with the drums and the violin here, and like the beginning, I'll just do the drums, and then halfway through, I'll come in with this violin again, and then kind of play with the open hi-hat, and then come in that way. That way it's kind of cool sounding, because this song is very kind of repetitive, I guess. Like the verses are very similar sounding and stuff. All right, so for the choruses, I'd like to add something. So basically starting with this verse 1 outro, so the chorus with no lyrics. I'm going to mess around with something on this virtuoso. I don't really know how to pronounce it, to be completely honest. I'm going to add something there. I really like how it slides, like as you can hear. Really sounds good. It just makes it sound not so software instrument-y, if that's a word. So I'm going to mess around, see what I can come up with. Oh yeah, that's it. Beautiful. Okay. That's perfect. And then, so that's what I'll do on the chorus sections. I'm thinking. Sorry, I lied. That's not what I'm doing on the chorus. That's what I'll do on this first one where there's no actual vocals, because it's more of a melody. And then I'll get less of like the melody going on the chorus, because there is going to be vocals in the background. So I'll do this. So yeah, I think that follows the vocals a little bit more. This was a little too much when I was kind of messing around with it. That first outro, verse 1 outro. But yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. The only other thing I think I'd like to add here is like some pedal steel stuff. That's about it. So Ink Steel, love this plugin as I always use it. It's a contact instrument library, just a great sounding. So I might just start it out with here, like, I'm just going to mess around. Okay, so what I did here was I bounced this out and brought it down 12 semitones, and then I just added this Somatics Omnivox plugin here just for a little bit of like reverb slash delay. I didn't like how the higher octave was sounding, so this just brought it down, just kind of chilled it out a little bit more, put it more in the background. So here's what it sounds like. Yeah, that's it. Nothing too crazy going on. But yeah, I just bounced it out and brought it down 12 semitones. And as I was messing around with violin again, this pizzicato, still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Same thing with the Stradivari violin. It's just a pizzicato. I don't know. It's that preset. So it's like a more plucked violin sound. But I was going to put it over here. This sounds really nice. So that spot where I kind of bring in the violin. And then as per usual, I just added some effects. So just some risers. Here's what the names of them are. But just through certain areas, just adds to the transitions. Just kind of adds to the transitions throughout the track. But those are the names of them if you'd like them. And next we have to do the vocals. So my vocals do not do Ronnie's vocals any justice at all. But I'm going to attempt, I do have like kind of a softer sounding voice. So I'm going to lean into that. And I'm going to lean into the fact that this is like a very soft sounding indie folk track. I can do that rasp, but my voice just starts sounding really weird and it just doesn't sound good. So I'm just going to keep it soft, simple. And then what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to get my sister to record some background vocals. My sister's a classically trained singer. She sings in a choir. She's sung her entire life. She is like basically as professional as a singer as you can get. And she's got to drop off some stuff for the wedding. So I'm going to ask her to record some vocals, just some background vocals kind of on the chorus. And I think that will give it a nice added texture. And I know my mom will absolutely just adore that. Both of us got into this song when I do play it for her. So yeah, I'm going to do some vocal stuff and be back with you. All right. So the vocals are done. I kind of went ahead and just did them. It would be way too long of a video if I were to show you the whole process. So we have my lead vocals here, and here's what they sound like. My mama told me very soft when I was young, because I can't lean in. Sit beside me. I can't lean in too much into like pushing into a rasp because like I said, it just doesn't sound very good. But basically the first verse is nothing going on other than just the lead vocals. So then we get into the second verse. Don't live too fast. We start adding a little bit of layers here. And they will pass. You'll find a woman. Yeah. So you can hear that kind of ad lib slash little vocal run in the background there. It's obviously a lot of reverb going on there. And basically I'm just cutting out a lot of the highs and adding a poop load and I'm adding a ton of reverb. I got the wet at 0 and the dry is off, and then I have this Somatics vocal dreamy reverb, and this is what these sound like. Nothing too crazy going on there. And then I'm just adding layers. So there. Just a bunch of layers. You hear a falsetto layer and then a bunch of other layers of me just singing it normally. And then I add like a little bit more reverb and I brought the dry down a little bit. Nothing too crazy. Cut a little bit of the highs off. Mainly very similar here, and it's just like a background vocal. So, and then throughout the track, I basically do just that. My approach to background vocals is I just go through the track and see what areas and what words can use some layers, and then once I find out like what sections I want to do, I'll just like record a bunch of layers and then I'll just experiment. Like I'll do maybe 4 or 6 layers just sung the exact same way, and then I'll do like a falsetto layer. I'll try out some harmonies, see if they work. If they don't work, then I just won't use them. But it's a lot of trial and error. And I do recommend kind of taking breaks when you do this because it can be fairly strenuous on your vocal cords. Also do a lot of warm-ups. And then, as I said, on verse 4, I rewrote the lyrics. I did my own kind of verse for it, and you'll hear it when I do the final run through. But I just kind of went over, my mom always encouraged me to chase my dreams, not care what anyone really thinks of me, and just like do what I want to do and not always go down the path that everybody follows. She's always told me to don't care what anybody thinks of me and just do what you want to do and chase your dreams. And her and my dad are just massive support for me my whole life, and especially with this YouTube journey. They literally watch like every single one of my videos. They always message me and tell me how good of a video I did and how good of a song it was, and they're literally like my number one fans. So this verse is kind of about that. My mom just kind of telling me to chase my dreams and not caring about what people think. Yeah, and that's all that's going on. And then there's a few layers just to kind of emphasize certain words and stuff, but that's about it. And then I also had my sister come over and record her vocals. So, like I said, she's a classically trained singer. She's way better than I am, and I will ever be. But I wanted to get her on this track, and here's what she sounds like in the background.
And be a simple kind of man.
She did a ton of different takes, and then I just kind of picked ones that worked for this track. And yeah, it's nothing too crazy going on. I do have a bunch of reverb on her vocals because I think it just sounds good with everything. But yeah, nothing too crazy really going on with her vocals that's any different. And then I just panned each of them left and right, obviously, and it sounds great. And then I had this little happy accident moment when I was moving her vocals over. I moved them over a little bit too much, but it sounded so good. So here's one of the choruses.
Be a simple kind of man.
So that extra little be a simple, it sounded so good. I just like happened to paste it over in the wrong spot, and I was like, oh no, I can't not do that now. So the first chorus, I just do it regular without it, and then the last 2 choruses, I put that in there. But yeah, other than that, with her vocals, I didn't have to do any tuning. They're just 100% perfect because she is such a good singer. So I think we're at a point where we can do a final run through. And what I'll do is I will try to remember to record this when I play it for my mom, just so you guys can see her reaction. And yeah, I'm excited, kind of nervous to play it, but I know she's going to love it. I have no doubt in my mind. So without further ado, let's play the track and hope you guys enjoy a nice moment, hopefully, at my wedding.
Mama told me when I was young, come sit beside me, my only son. Now listen closely to what I say, and if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. Take your time, don't live too fast. Troubles will rich man's gold. All that you need is in your soul. You can do it, oh baby, if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Or be something you love and understand. Mama told me, go chase your dreams. Don't let them tell you what they think. You'll find your way, son, if you try. Oh, I believe everything you've done was worth the fight. And be a simple kind of man. Or be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can?
Well, that went over so well. My mom, when I played that for her, was literally crying the whole time. She loved it. She honestly could not get enough of how good it was and how much she enjoyed it. So it was just so worth all the work that was involved in getting this track finished in time. Just a very, very wholesome moment. My sister's vocals were just absolutely incredible. And that was just like the cherry on top. She was like, when we were dancing, I was like, yeah, that's Erica's vocals. She's like, no. Then she started crying more. And it was just a really, really special moment on my wedding day. It was just, yeah. I couldn't have asked for a better moment and a better production. The only thing I would say, this thing is not mixed and mastered. I did not have time to send it out to get mixed and mastered, but it sounded great. Other than that, if you guys have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And as always, if you guys need a producer on your next track, let me know. We can get something going. We'll get it produced. We'll get it professionally mixed and mastered. We'll get it released. And if you need help on promoting it, I could probably help you with that as well. If you want to run some Facebook ads, the whole 9 yards. So if you guys have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.
Be a simple